Hey, what's up guys, I'm Michael King back again with another video. So in today's video I'm going to analyze the GBPUSD and I'm going to do a top-down analysis from the monthly time frame all the way down to the weekly time frame, even the daily time frame, the 1 hour time frame, and I might check also the 4 hour time frame. So now let me first start on the monthly time frame. What you are seeing right here is a bearish market. Let me zoom it a little bit or decrease it so we can have the overall view. So now look at our price did here. Price traded lower, violating this low. Then this lower low here was validated at this point. This lower low was validated at this point, and currently this lower low, as you can see, price traded into it. That's why I drew a line here to show that it has been violated. So we have a high here and we have a low here. So generally on GBUSD we have a bearish market. However, I'm going to zoom this area a little bit. So if you're familiar with range very well, you realize that from this point to this point is our range, right? And the midpoint is equilibrium. And what we should be looking for is, since we're having a bearish market, we have to be looking for areas that we can sell from the monthly time frame. That's what you think price is likely to head towards. And when price get there, we'll have a continuation to the downside. So areas to sell could be this other block right here. Let me zoom it a little bit. We have this other block right here. Now beside this other block, above it, what do you think is resting above it? Above this area is liquidity. So it means I want to see price rise to this other block or above the other block to clear or sweep all this liquidity right here. So that is the general bias for GBPUSD on a monthly time frame. So it means on the long term, I want to see some kind of current or some kind of temporary uptrend, right? However, the general view is still a bearish market. That is, the overall trend is a bearish market. Or from price to rise from this point all the way to this other block or above the other block for liquidity, we are going to see some kind of uptrend on the lower time frame. That is the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour time frame. So I'm going to quickly move on to the weekly time frame for more analysis. Now this is the weekly time frame right here. As you can see, let me decrease that a little bit. So this is the monthly range, this is the monthly low here, the monthly high, just when this low was broken. So this is the liquidity I'm pointing out, and around here is the other block for the monthly time frame. So now look carefully at this. I marked this from the weekly time frame. Actually, we have this other block here. So now this other block right here is the last sell candle because it swept this low. Now it doesn't matter if this is a bearish candle or this is a bullish candle. I'm about to share this with you guys. So whatever candle is the last candle, that is the lowest. As you can see, this is the lowest. Let me increase that a little bit. Perfect. So as you can see, this is the lowest candle and it swept all these lows. So this validates this as another block, right? It doesn't matter if it is a bearish candle or if it is a bullish candle. So this other block right here push price higher, and we have some kind of liquidity right here, as you can see. Then price went higher. Now look at this carefully. This is some form of inducement, right? If you're very familiar with inducement, either this is like some kind of smart money trap, and price went all the way down and cleared this inducement and rushed to the other block, as you can see, and price is heading higher. So now looking at the chart right now, you realize that after price got to this area, what the price did, price is heading higher. Although we end last week with this bearish candle, there's an area that I feel price is drawing towards, and I will point those areas out on a daily time frame. So now looking at this carefully, you agree with me that what we have right here is still some kind of current uptrend. As you can see, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low that swept this low. Then price went up, creating this little bit of pullback, which acts as an inducement to make traders to fall into it and probably make losses for the swing traders. Price broke the low, came down to this point and started heading higher. However, I still hold the bias that what we are having right here is still a kind of temporary uptrend. See, price gets this liquidity right here, and the other block that we have around this area on a monthly time frame. Now that being said, let's quickly look at a daily time frame. Now this is the daily time frame right here. Now if you look carefully, after price swept this inducement, price tapped this gray area is the other block we marked on the weekly time frame. So what can you see? Let me quickly zoom the chart a little bit. Alright, perfect. So now what can you see? When price started, it went up a little bit from a pullback, went lower, went up, breaking this high. Automatically, you can see that when price got to the weekly order block, we had a transition from a downtrend to an uptrend because of the fact that this pullback was kind of violated, right? And what do you see? Price started heading higher. Now, what we are going to do right now is we are going to track the progress of price so we can know what we are having currently around this area on the daily time frame. Now let's follow closely. When price violated this area right here, this becomes the high, the low. We had the retracement. Price went higher, low. Now look at this candle here. All what we have here, this 1, 2, 3, is not a pullback actually. All what we have here is not pullback because 1, 2, 3, they are all inside this long candle. So it means we still categorize them as what? Let me zoom charts very well because I need you guys to see this charts very well. So now this 1, 2, 3 candles, they are all a single candles because they are all inside this single candle. So we cannot call it a valid pullback. Compared to this, you can see that price traded higher first, then head lower. That's a valid pullback. So it means this was our high, our low. This is still a single candle, so it means price went all the way up to this point. Then this is a valid pullback. Do you know why? Because this candle went lower than the previous candle, right? So now we have this high, low. Price went up to this point right here, came down, went high, came down right here. Now it went high to this point, but all this did not exceed this candle high. Neither did it exceed this candle low. So it means we are still categorizing all this as a single candle. So it means when we had this high, when we had this low, price rose to this point right here. Look carefully. Now when price rose to this point right here, this will become our new high, and our new low. Let me put these horizontal lines there for better understanding. Okay. So this becomes our new high, and this becomes our new low. Now let's follow carefully. Now what do you see? What do you see that price did right here? Price traded up to this point. Now let me decrease that a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now what do you see that price did here? Price came all the way down to this point. This is the lowest point price gets to. Then it made a new high. So it means this becomes our new high right here, and this becomes our new low. So it means as at this point we are having an uptrend. But now look carefully. What is price doing currently? Price traded all the way down, and we had a full candle below this low. Do you know what that means? This means that we are having an uptrend right here. However, now we have a transition from an uptrend to what? A downtrend. Now, if the weekly is giving us a bullish perspective, let me take this like a little bit so I can show you the weekly time frame. Looking at the weekly time frame, you can see that after this inducement, price came down to this other block and price is heading higher. So if we are having a kind of bias that price might want to head high to this liquidity here or the other block, then it simply means that if data frame is showing a kind of downtrend, it's just a kind of temporary downtrend heading to a possible area. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to take note of the high. Let me remove this place. Let me just take note of this high right here. Let me get the right figure for it. So that high is at 1.28962. Okay. Then let's also get the point at which price broke and we had a transition to a downtrend. This is the point right here, and let me get the right figure. That's 1.25181. Okay, so this is my two areas right now because I cannot call this place a low until we have some kind of pullback. That's when I'll make here a low. So see, then I will just maintain only these two lines. Now if price is kind of making the kind of downtrend, one thing I will look out for is because I feel right, or I think that price always respects the bigger time frame. So if I still feel like the weekly time frame wants to kind of make some upward movement, then if the time frame is making this kind of valuation to the downside, it's simply the fact that it won't pull back to a particular area before it continues the upward movement. Now let's look carefully around this area. What do you think that price might want to pull back to? Then it continues the upward movement to that liquidity and other block on the monthly time frame. Now, what do we have here? We have an order block right here. What I'm going to do right now is maybe I'm just going to use the gray area, or let me use this line so that we don't get it mixed up with the weekly gray area. So we have this order block right here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that you can see it clearly. It's at 1.22379. Perfect. 1.22379. Now let's look carefully at this. You can see this order block. This is the last candle after this sell move, right? And it even has a fair value gap. So it means if I want to draw to this area, this can be a turning point for GBPUSD on a daily time frame. Another possible turning point, which I'm not really okay with, but I am not the owner of the forex market, so I don't get to decide where price wants to head towards, is this order block right here. It is at 1.21643. 1.21643. Perfect. Now look carefully at this. You realize that we have this order block here. This candle swept the low of this candle, so it can still be a valid order block and also have a fair value gap which price hasn't traded into. So it means we have two lines of defense to push price higher. This is the first level of defense, second level of defense. Now that being said, that could be a possible reason why price is breaking lower. So to probably head to this area and to head to this area. However, moving on to the 4-hour time frame, or before that, let's look at some possible area in case, because starting this week, price might want to head higher. So let's look at some possible areas that can stand as some kind of resistance level to push price lower. We have this area right here. We have this order block right here. This order block right here can be an area to push price lower, but I feel like it might be some kind of liquidity. Price might want to head higher to just sweep that high. It's at 1.26335. Let me first take note of this area first. That is, if price wants to head higher, this might be an area to push price lower, but you can see we have two equal high here, so it might just be like an equality, and price will just trade through it and probably head to some area around here, because around this area we have some other blocks in the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to point out when we move on to the 4-hour time frame. Now moving on, there's an area I want to talk about around this point right here. It's on the 4-hour time frame. So it means we're moving now to the 4-hour time frame. For the daily time frame, we've taken note of this transition to a downtrend. We also take note of these two areas that might be a place that price is heading to for this week or next week. Then we also have this other block as an area of defense if I want to head higher, but I kind of feel like it might be some kind of liquidity, because look at these two equal high right here. So price might sweep through it and head to a other block that we have right here, or it might even sweep through this because we also have another other block right here. So now let's move on to the 4-hour time frame. Now looking at the 4-hour time frame right here, I'll first start with the area I'm talking about, or no, let me leave that for later. That should be the last part for this video. Now this is the area I felt like price might want to reject because of the other block from the daily time frame. And what you see above is we have to equal high, meaning price might ignore the other block and just sweep this high, because the forex markets always look for liquidity. Liquidity is what will make the price move from point A to point B. So it means this might just be an area for price to sweep. And what do we have next here? We have an order block. This is a valid order block. Let me get the right figure. This is a valid order block. So the right figure is at 1.27621. 0.67621. Let me zoom just a little bit so you can see the other block very clearly. Okay, so now look at this candle. This is a very other block because the high of this candle is at 1.28033. So this candle swept this candle high, so swept this candle high, right? So it means this is the extreme buy candle. It swept both highs. That means it has gathered both liquidity, then it went lower. So it means this is a valid area to watch out for. I would have liked, and again we also have some kind of liquidity here which can validate this area. I would have liked to just place an instant sell order here, then maybe stop loss above it, but this pips is too much. This is like 440 something pips. I usually aim for 1:5, and if I want to give this as an entry, it means my profit target might be way lower, and sometimes I can't hold trade for that long. So what I'm likely to do is, I don't know if this price is going to go higher this week, but if price is going to go higher this week, this will be my point of interest, this forward order block. So if price can get there, I would like to filter down to the 15 minutes time frame and this other block to see if I can have an entry. You can also try that depending on your strategy, but this is an area that you should look out for. You can also look at this area for some kind of risk. Why I'm calling this area a risk, so the fact that we have this equal high here, so it might be some kind of liquidity. So price might just ignore the other block and just go higher. However, we also have this here. What can you see here? We also have this pullback here. So this pullback might be liquidity to validate this area. So what I will just advise you to do is, in this daily order block, don't put an instant limit order. See a kind of transition in the smaller time frame, for example the 15 minutes time frame or 1 hour time frame. If you can see a kind of transition to the downtrend, you can sell here. Likewise, this area, so you see a transition to the downtrend, you can also sell here. Now let me point out the area I said I'm more interested in. It might be an area to push price higher, and price already got in there last week. Now let's come all the way down to this point. Okay, what can you see here? Let me zoom just a little bit one more time. Okay, perfect. Now look carefully. What do we have here? We have an order block here. This candle swept the low of this candle, as you can see. It swept the low, so it means it's a valid order block candle. So what I'm just going to do right now is maybe I'll just use this line. Let's use this line, and you observe that price have already got into the area. It is at 1.24372. okay, then let me extend the line also. Perfect. Okay, let me decrease it a little bit. So now this line one more time. Perfect. So now this line right here from the forward order block, let's go all the way back. Now you realize that this line, as you can see here, price have traded into the line and you can see some kind of rejection. But let me quickly explain something to you guys on the 15 minutes time frame, so that you can understand what you're also to look out for in this area too, and this area also. So this is the 15 minutes time frame for GBPUSD, and let me zoom to a little bit. Alright, perfect. So now looking at this right now, this is a high I'm looking at. I want to see price break this high this week. So if price can go above this high, I already have my valid liquidity here. Then I also have another block here. It's more clear if I can look at the 30 minutes time frame. You can see this last candle here is a valid order block, also have a favorable lookup. So it's an area to buy from. But before I hit that buy button, I want to see if price first break this high first. Then this will be my liquidity area. I'll place a buy limit order above it and stop loss below it. So if price can trade here, it's a good area to buy from, and if you are buying there, you can aim towards this daily order block. So you might buy at this area and aim all the way to this point, depending on what trader you are, whether you can hold it for long or not. But in my own case, I apply 1:5. That's my fixed risk to reward. So that being said, that is basically all for this video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button, share to your friends, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.